Hey, thanks for joining me again. Back with another video. Going to basically be talking about getting into fix and flipping, initial steps, mainly starting with, let's say, credit uh, and personal income, um, or money saved that you have, or money you may have in a 401k or other outlets to have access to cash. Talk about this in the fix and flip community. I'll post a link to that. It's free. I'll post a link to that if you want to join that. But basically, today, just going to be talking about, so doing that personal assessment when you decide that, okay, yeah, I want to get into flipping, assessing where you're at financially and a credit perspective. So, when, regardless of how bad your credit is, if you have a good deal, you'll be able to get money some way for that deal. Uh, there are plenty of hard money lenders that are even loan on credit scores in the low 600s, but you're going to pay more for that loan. So you're not completely out. You just pay more for that loan because those loans are typically interest only when you're going through the renovation process. So if you borrowed $150,000, when you start paying that first payment of your hard money loan back, none of that money you're paying each month will go to pay down that 150,000 because you're only going to be paying interest. That's why they specify, when you see these shows like, we got to get this done quick, because none of it is paying off the actual loan. You're just giving them profit every single month that you have that loan out there. So, but yeah, with the credit, like I said, even with bad credit, you can still typically get a loan. You're just going to pay more for it. You may not be able to get them from some of the bigger national lenders. They may not go that low because they're typically in the high 600s, around 680 is usually the bottom line for larger national lenders. But yeah, there's plenty of hard money lenders for the lower credit score people. But yeah, let's say that credit, um, is resolved. Then you need some money. Do you have money saved up? Are you going to pull money out of a 401k? Are you going to borrow money from somebody you know? There's lots of options, but you hear people say that you can flip with no money and no credit, and that's true. That's true because you don't need credit because you can use somebody else's credit. You can do a cosigner. So in that case, you wouldn't need your credit at all. And then if you have a good enough deal, you can get a private lender that'll put down that money on that deal if your deal is good enough. And therefore, you would need no credit because you're using a cosigner and no money because you're using a private lender that's taking advantage of your good deal. Now, here's the caveat. Okay, let's say you have this great deal. You found this property, and it's a great deal. You've ran your numbers. I'm assuming you know how to do that. If not, go to the course, free course. Yeah, I have a lot more on that. But yeah, assuming you ran your numbers, okay, it's got a nice margin in there. Don't go to that private lender or whatever first unless you have the property under contract, meaning that you've had a contract signed with the seller. Because somebody could just come behind you and take that deal if you don't have it under contract. If you've done no negotiating, you're not putting any money down, we're not using your credit, well, what point do you serve in the process other than saying that, I know this property is a good deal. So really, they really could just eliminate you out the process at all. If they have any kind of credibility, hopefully they'll at least give you a referral fee because you're just bringing the property. You're not providing any other interest in it. So really, that's really all you would really be justified to get is a referral fee, since you didn't negotiate no credit and no cash. But yeah, be careful with who you tell that you have a deal, that they don't take it from you, even though you don't have it on contract. Don't tell people your deals until you have it under contract first, at least, or something in written in stone. That way, it'll cover you to make sure you get your share that you feel that you are entitled to. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to discuss. Understanding where you are from a credit perspective, knowing your credit profile, where your scores are. Check with all the bureaus, Equifax, Trade Union, and Experian. Check, see where you're at, because there's a lot of things on your credit file that can be cleaned up easily with just a dispute letter. So check those, see if there's inaccuracies on that as well. A simple letter can eliminate a lot of stuff. You'd be surprised with just sending a letter in can do. Uh, Assess your financial situation from a cash perspective. Where are you going to get the money from? Do you know somebody that can supply the money for you, or are you going to pull it out of some investment you have, or your job 401k, or whatever? Uh, just make sure you know those situations, and that's just part of the preparation you need to have a successful start to this venture. And I feel that if you take those small steps, you'll get yourself going in the right direction initially, and it'll help you have a higher chance of success when you actually do that first flip. But once again, join the free school community. It's called Fix and Flip for Beginners. I'll put a link in the video for that. And like I said, it'll give you a whole lot more insight on the entire process, dealing with contractors, sales, buying products, everything, going through that, through the process of getting, the renovations done, the inspections, all those type of things that you'll experience. It'll give you that good foundation to help you increase the probability of having success. So please go check that out. And I appreciate you watching this video. Until next time, take care.